Today we're going to talk about adding integers. A couple things to remember when we're adding integers is that we can represent this in two different ways, and we'll show you both today. First of all, we're going to use our circle stack, add, subtract. So what we like to do is use this as kind of a checklist. You can see it there. So first of all, my circle, I'm already adding, so I don't need to change anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just circle my numbers along with the sign. Number 12. I know 12 is a positive because any number that doesn't have a sign is automatically a positive. So if you want to put that, you can put that. I'm going to go ahead and circle these. Notice that I'm circling the number with the sign. Also the -7. At this point, I'm done circling. Next is stack. When I stack these, I want to figure out which one of these two numbers has the highest absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from 0 on a number line. So I know that the positive 12 is further away. So I'm going to put that one right on top. Obviously my -7 goes there, and I'm done stacking. Next move, I'm going to look at my signs. If my signs are different, like you see here, I'm going to subtract. On the other hand, if the signs were the same, I would have added. Okay, so again, if the signs are different, I'm going to subtract. So 12 minus 7 will leave me with 5. And then what I like to say is I always keep the sign of the big dude there. It's going to leave me with a positive 5. Easy enough. Now, when I look at the number line, I'm going to go back to the numbers I circled. And my first number is a positive 12. So as you can see up here, I have my plus sign indicating positive, as well as my negative over here indicating that those are negative numbers. That's the direction on a number line those numbers are going to travel. So let's work with the positive 12. I'm going to start with 0, or at 0. And I know that a positive 12 essentially goes this many units down our number line. This is 10, 11, and 12. So I know that my line is going to stop here. And I'm going to put an arrow indicating that it was going that direction. This line means that it stopped. Very good. Now, here's the next thing. People get stopped up at this all the time. My next number is a -7. -7. So remember, you don't go back home. You do not go back to this 0 over here. You do not. Start where you ended up. This is where your next line is going to start. I see that's a -7, so I'm actually going to travel 7 units back to the left. And we do that because, again, this negative sign tells us that we're going to the left. So 7 units will take me all the way back to here. My arrow is going to be put in place, and you will notice that you are, in fact, in line with positive 5. So that is the way we do both methods. We model it using circle stack, add or subtract, and we can also display it on a number line. Now we're going to talk about subtracting integers. Although it looks very similar, there's a small process we have to go through because, as we learned before, we're going to take kind of a shortcut. We don't like to subtract integers, we like to add. So when we change this, it's very important that we remember that we're going to keep this first number the same. This is what we're going to change here. We want to change it to addition. So the only way we can do that is to add the opposite. So I'm going to look at this number here. I see it's a -6. The opposite of that would be a positive 6. So now I can go through, do my circle stack, add, subtract, and I'm going to follow my checklist. First of all, my circle. I know I'm going to circle my numbers with the sign. All set. Now stack, which means put them on top of each other. I want to find the one that's got the highest absolute value, which is distance from 0. So I'm going to take my -8 because that's furthest from 0, highest absolute value. And then I have my positive 6. Again, we're going to look at these two signs. They are different, therefore, cross that out. Therefore, I'm going to subtract. These signs here are different. You go ahead and subtract. So 8 minus 6 will leave me with 2. And again, I'm going to keep the sign of what I call the big dude. There you go. So our answer is -2. Now, to model this on a number line, we're going to have to look again at the numbers we circled with their sign. You'll see my number line down here. You can notice that the negative over here indicates that is the direction that a negative number goes, and my positive is the direction that a positive number goes. My first number is this -8 over here. We're going to start at 0, and I know the number of units is going to be 8. So I know my line's going to go right to there, and of course it's traveling to the left because it is a negative number. Tricky part, my next number is a positive, so do not go back to the home, which is 0. Start where you ended off. So let's start right here, which is at that -8. I know that this 6 is a positive. That means it's going to go to the right. It's going to go this way. We know that. So it's going to hop 7 units back to the right. Which is going to leave us about right here. Our arrow goes this way, indicating that it's a positive number, therefore it is traveling to the right. And you will notice again that it lines up with the answer we got from our circle stack, which is a -2.